Well, hello, I'm Eric Mattis from JamPlay.com. It's good to be back with you again. In this lesson, we are going to do a tune called RJ's Lament. RJ for Robert Johnson, of course, and it's in his style, and it's in the key of G, and it uses some of his various types of themes that you've heard before and that I've taught before, but in the key of G. And so it's a 12-bar blues, and I think you'll find it fairly simple. We're going to start off with a G chord here, and we're going to use this form of the G chord. Now, here's my word, this is my rap, so to speak, for this version of the G chord, which many learn when they first play the guitar and which you see in many books. If you play the G this way, don't feel bad. You could still use that one when you put your ring finger on the second string and play this form of the G. But when you're playing almost any type of music, any type of folk or ethnic music, whether that's bluegrass, folk, blues, ragtime, this is the G that you'll want to use because it's easily accessible not only to G7th, but also to the D with a suspended fourth and a C. So that's my little rap on the G thing. So for this tune, let's go ahead and form the G this way with the second, third, and fourth fingers. Okay, so this tune, of course, in the Robert Johnson style, like all of the Western styles, is going to use a monotonic bass. That is a continuous one-note bass that's muted slightly. And you can vary the muting according to your own taste. You can let it sound out and then kind of drop your hand on it, or mute it the whole time. Okay, so when you're playing in G, you're going to be using the monotonic bass on the 6th string, 3rd fret. That's going to be your G. When you're playing on the chord of C, we're going to go ahead and use a C on the 5th string. Yeah, we'll get to there in just a few minutes. Okay, so let's take that G here and let's strike the top 2 strings with our 1st and 2nd fingers. So index and 2nd fingers at the same time pinching so that we can get the 6th string to sound. So it's going to be 1, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3 more bass notes. So 4 bass notes for 4/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4 as our basic. Okay, then we're going to switch to a G7th. So just keep the 2nd and 3rd fingers where they are and move the index finger now to the 1st fret of the 1st string. And we're going to do the same type of technique. Strike the top 2 strings with your index finger and do 4 bass notes with your thumb. 2, 3, 4. Okay, then we're going to take the little finger and move it now to the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and we're going to strike the 2nd and 1st strings together, again, while playing the 4 notes on the 6th string. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what you have so far are 4 measures in the key of G. One where we use a G, one where we use a G7th, and one where we add that D to the G7th. And then a repeat of that. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, those aren't some of the notes that Eric played at the beginning, and that's true. We're going to come back to those in a few minutes, but first thing I want to do is really introduce you to the structure of the song and the basic chords. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to form a C7th chord. Now, as opposed to this type of a C7th chord, which many of you are probably familiar with, we're actually going to form a barred C7th chord at the 3rd fret. So what we're going to do is bar straight across the 3rd fret with our index finger and put the ring and the little finger on the 4th and 2nd strings respectively on the 5th fret. Okay, so that's going to give us a C7th, and essentially what you can think of that as being like this A7th brought up 3 frets. Okay, and our and our tonic note, or the C in this case, is going to be on this 5th string. So we're just going to pluck the 2nd and 3rd strings with our 2 fingers while we strike the C on the bass 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, now we're going to take the 2nd finger here and we're going to place it on the 4th fret of that 5th string, and we're going to do the same thing that we just did for the C7. So striking the 2nd and 3rd strings with the raised bass note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so far what you have is this. C7th. Okay, now we're going to come back to G and do 2 measures. So G, 2, 3, 4, and then make the G7th with the D in the with the D on the 2nd string, and back up to G. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so a half measure of G7th, a half measure of G on that last measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, good. Now we're going to do the 5 chord, or the 5 to 4 turnaround. So now we're going to play a D7th, and we're going to form this like a C7th, but up here on the 3rd to 5th fret. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, if you're playing that D7th, why didn't you play the C7th that way? Because we wanted that diminished chord, and that's why we use that voicing of that chord. So now we're going to take the D7th chord here with the D note here, that is the 5th fret on the 5th string. That's going to give us a D, and we're going to strike that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And instead of going down to C like you would in many blues, we're going to stay on that D. So we're going to do 2 measures of D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. So now all we have is basically a couple more measures. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to hit the G with our ring finger and our thumb here on the 6th string. Okay, and we're going to do the Robert Johnson turnaround that we've done on 2 other songs. Okay, and that is the little finger will go on the 1st string on the 3rd fret, and we're going to strike that with our 2nd finger here on this right hand. So, okay, then the ring finger here on the left hand, it's going to go to the 3rd fret on the 4th string, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then the 2nd finger is going to go to the 2nd fret on the 4th string. 1, 1, 2. You got it figured out. You know what this is. And then 1, 2, and then an open D. So it's the Robert Johnson turnaround, right? But in G, it's this. Okay, and then we're going to form a D7th, our plain old D7th, but we're going to do something kind of different with it. We're going to put the F sharp on the bottom. So what we're going to do is bring our thumb over and fret on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. And we're going to strike the 2nd and 3rd strings with our 2 fingers while we strike the F sharp here on the 6th string. Okay. Like that. Okay, so let's look at what we've got so far. Let's back up and look at from the beginning. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, G7th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add the D. 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat. 2, 3, 4. C7th. 2, 3, 4. Raise the root. 2, 3, 4. Back to G. 2, 3, 4. D, G7th, and G. Then D7th. 2, 3, 4. And again, 2, 3, 4, and the turnaround. Okay, good. So this is the basic structure of this tune. In the next lesson, we're going to come back and we're going to snazz it up and add a little bit of embellishment to it and make it sound a little bit more like the real Robert Johnson. See you then.